Does the Bible condone child marriage? Yes, it does. Not only does it condone child marriage, but it condones taking children in marriage against their own will without their consent. Let's look at the passage. In the book of Numbers, chapter 31, God is seeking revenge on the Midianites. And so he sends Moses and the Israelites to go and attack the Midianites and to execute all of them. But things don't go as planned. Now, the Israelites didn't actually execute everybody that they encountered, and this actually angered Moses. It says in verse 14, Moses became angry with the officers of the army, and Moses said to them, "Have you allowed all of the women to live?" So what is the solution for the fact that they allowed some of these women to live? You might be inclined to believe that the solution would be to go back and execute everybody, but the solution is different than that. It says, "Now, therefore, unalive every male among the little ones," the male children, "and unalive every woman who has known a man by sleeping with him. But all of the young girls who have not known a man by sleeping with him, keep alive for yourselves." And so Moses explicitly tells them, these young little virgin girls, you can keep them alive for yourself. But all the little boys, execute them. All the women who aren't virgins, execute them. Now, I know some of you are thinking it could mean just young women. It doesn't have to mean like little children women, but unfortunately the Hebrew text would betray that thought. It says quite literally, "Wakol hataf banashim esher lo yadu mirshkav zakar," which quite literally translates into, but all the women children that have not known man by lying with him. And the phrase in question here is hataf banashim, which would literally translate to the children, because this is a singular collective noun, meaning children, plural, and banashim, meaning among the women. And of course, you don't have to take my word for it. You can just check your Brown Driver Briggs Hebrew Dictionary, and you'll find taf listed under children, a collective noun. So it's literally quite saying the female children, and that's actually in good keeping, because in the prior passage it says to unalive every male among the little ones. Again, children. Now, how do we know that these little girls were made to be brides as opposed to, I don't know, like adopted children that they took care of? Well, it's quite obvious, because they only took the little virgin girls. The apologist says that, well, these were just the women that weren't made impure by the sexual immorality in the Peor incident. But if that were true, then the little boys would not be impure either. Little boys would be pure just like the little girls, but they didn't get to live. The little boys got executed. The little virgin girls were theirs to keep for themselves for very obvious reasons. Is there a precedent in the Bible for getting to take war captive virgins and women for yourself? Yes, there is. In Deuteronomy 20, it literally says, when you draw near to a town to fight against it, offer it terms of peace. If it accepts your terms of peace and surrenders to you, then all the people in it will serve you as forced labor. But if it does not accept your terms of peace and makes war against you, then you will besiege it. And when the Lord your God gives it into your hand, you shall put all of its males to the sword. You may, however, take as your plunder the women, the children, livestock, and everything else in the town, all of its spoil. And what can you do with these women? Well, the very next chapter tells you. In chapter 21 of Deuteronomy, it says, when you go out to war against your enemies, and the Lord your God hands them over to you, and you take them captive, suppose you see among the captives a beautiful woman whom you desire and want to marry. So you can just go and take among the captives, without their consent, women to marry. And of course, when we talk about marriage in the Old Testament, there's no word for marriage. It literally says that you can take her to be your woman. Same word, wife and woman is the same. He's just saying, listen, if you find a hottie toddy among the people that you kidnapped, you can make her to be your wife. You can just take her, and she's going to be your wife now. And it says, and so you will bring her home to your house. She shall shave her head, pare her nails, discard her captive's garb, and remain in your house a full month, mourning for her father and mother. After that, you may go into her and be her husband, and she will be your wife. So yes, the Bible absolutely condones taking little girls as your war brides.